Coach, Sports Radio 810 here in Kansas City. It's been a while since we've had like kind of regular tournament back here. Just what's your anticipation level for what it's going to be like to be in the Big 12 tournament here with fans and all that stuff? It's been a long time coming, I guess.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We're thrilled to be here. I mean, we're fortunate to have the great fan support that we do, so we're excited for a great crowd of Cyclone fans. But awesome for all of us, especially the student athletes, to be able to get back this experience here at T-Mobile. And what an unbelievable conference tournament it is, and a great opportunity for all of us.
How's your team right now? You guys have been a little bit streaky. It's some winning streaks and losing streaks. How do you feel like you're set to come into this tournament right now?
Yeah, I mean, our guys know who we are, what our identity is, what we need to do to be successful, and we need to have a grit and a toughness and competitive endurance to be that team. And so for us, whether it's whatever our opponents do is not really as much of a factor as we're trying to be the best version of who we can be, and our guys know the things we need to do that, and that's what we're going to set out to do.
Jaden and Robert have played more minutes lately. Why is that?
As the season goes on, you're looking to make some changes or do some things that can maybe bring energy. And so, first of all, in terms of Jaden feeling like, his length at 6'5", defensively can make an impact. He gives us another playmaker, and then can be a guy to get some loose balls and keep some plays alive. With Robert, he brings some additional physicality. He's a guy that likes, he likes contact. He plays well around the rim defensively, and you're seeing him playing with more and more offensive confidence as well. So as the season evolves, teams evolve, and those guys have earned those opportunities, and we're excited to see where they continue to go.
What's a player like Isaiah that does so much for you guys offensively? What's the dynamic like when you're in a win or go home situation where you see guys have big games that can propel teams for a few games?
Yeah, Isaiah's certainly done that for us. He's a prolific scorer, does it in a lot of ways. People talk quite a bit about his ability to make tough mid-range shots because it's certainly an outlier in how he does that. But he has that ability to take over a game, to get in a rhythm, for sure. Now, we're hopeful that other guys are stepping up and, making shots around him, because we realize that specifically with Tech, they're going to have a great focus on not letting him catch it. And then when he does, having their whole defense loaded up and geared up for him. So we're hoping to get him in a rhythm. We're also hopeful that other guys can step up.
What have you seen from Texas Tech the last couple of weeks? It seems like they're playing even lower scoring games than maybe we've been accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is their press on makes at times slows down the tempo of the games. Certainly their switch ability, and defensively, they kind of are always in front of you, right? They're always in your path when you cut. They're always in front of you when you're trying to move the basketball. So it just ends up being the pace of the game is slower. They've had games as well where they haven't scored it great, at times, certainly down the stretch at Oklahoma State in that second half. So I don't know if it's by design or it's just we're at that point in the year where everybody knows everybody's personnel so well and what you're trying to do. So they do a good job of defensively for sure, and I think that has more to do with it even than the offense.
What was it about Isaiah that wanted you to have him here playing for you, and what were your expectations of him coming in?
When we first visited with Isaiah and he talked about what type of opportunity he was looking for, I remember the specific conversation where I asked him, how hard are you going to work for that? What are your daily habits going to be? What can I expect from you before I can paint the picture of what this experience might be? And when I heard from Isaiah how hard he'd work, I remember him specifically saying, I'll be the hardest working guy every day. And he's honored that. As a coach, you can always instill confidence in a guy that's going to bring that type of effort and work. So he wanted more of the spotlight in terms of being an impact guy, being a first option, a go-to guy. And he stepped up, not just in the games, but every single day in practice to be that guy for us.
Could you envision at the time him being first team All Big 12?
It wasn't something that we thought of or considered early on, truthfully. you see him work every single day, and then you start to raise the bar and the standards of what you think he can accomplish because what he does every single day. And I'm always a believer in you play to the level of your habits, and so when you see how strong his habits are over time, you understand what he can accomplish because of that work ethic.
When you ask players how hard are you going to work, does that sometimes put them off kilter?
It does, because I feel like everybody thinks they work hard. And to me, I've been fortunate, especially at Iowa State, to have a lot of really talented, gifted players that their work ethic is unparalleled. The George Niangs, the Melvin Edgems, the Matt Thomases, the Monte Morrises, guys we had in the stretch, you saw how they worked every single day. And you know that if you do that, you're going to be successful. So I think it's a question we ask a lot in recruiting. I do think it catches guys off guard because the standard answer is, yes, I think I work hard. But then as a coach, you know when it looks different than just, working hard. You know when it's elite, unique, unparalleled, whatever words you want to use. And so Isaiah's certainly one of those guys, and we're going to continue to do that in recruiting to find those guys.
Did you ever see any tape of his dad playing, and do you see any similarities in the way those two guys play?
So his dad, obviously at Coppin, watched some clips from the games when he played in the NCAA tournament. Dad was a stone cold bucket getter, just irrational confidence is something I'd say they both exhibit. His dad innately seemed to always have it. Isaiah has acquired it this year.
How is Tyrese in a league with so many experienced point guards, like all Division I basketball experienced point guards, showing you his work ethic, having to adjust at this level and play at the level he's played at?
Well, the challenge for every freshman is that no matter how hard you work before you got to college, this is a lot more. It's more games, it's more work, it's more, the body, the wear and tear. It's every single day you got to come back again and do it again. It's as much of a mental as a physical challenge. And for Tyrese, there's been times this year, where for him you can see him kind of digging deep and trying to find a little more, and that's a really special quality, talent. What we've also said about him over and over is he has a very short-term memory in a good way. When things don't go his way, he's able to flip the switch and get things going his way. So, when he's played well, we've played well. I don't think that's a big secret. If you look at our wins in league play, that he's played well and then we have, which would make sense as a point guard, but especially as a freshman point guard. When he commands a game, we got a chance to be really good.
Thanks.